Okay, so it's 11 o'clock. We're going to get started. As I said before, maybe a few of you join the room. Feel free to ask questions on the chat. I'll try and get to as many as I can as we go along. Someone might leave to the end if they're not relevant at the time, but by all means, use the chat, talk to each other, ask questions, and hopefully this can be a really useful session for everybody. So if anyone didn't catch my previous webinar, which taught you how to set up and optimize your channel itself, don't worry, I will send you all a link to that after this. In fact, probably by the end of the day, if you go to the page on our website where you signed up for this webinar, which is wearegreenspark.com/webinar, I'll try and get links to both of the videos up on there. But I'll also send out links by emails to both the first video in case you missed it and anything else we talk about this time that needs a link, really. So this one is about once you've got your channel all set up and running and you've maybe got some videos you want to upload, how to make sure that people can see your videos and actually get to watch them, get to discover them through search and through looking at other videos, and hopefully actually get some business for you, because that's what really this is all about if you've got a business website. Business YouTube channel rather. Scarlett says sound is cutting out a lot. Is that something, can you guys in the chat say if you're having trouble with sound, or is everyone else okay? Is that maybe that's something that I need to kind of reset something or restart something if there's a big problem? So let me know. So making and uploading videos is just really the first step. It's no good doing any of that. It's no good putting in the effort, putting in the time to do it and the expense if no one is actually going to watch your videos. So the message I'm getting from the chat is that the sound is fine for most people. So Scarlett, I don't know if it's still cutting out for you. If it is, then maybe restart the page or something like that, because that seems to work when we're having issues with the webinars. I don't know if that might be your connection or something. Anyway, so yeah, what we want to do here is to get people to watch your videos. Obviously, we want to get people to find stuff that you're putting out that is relevant to them, but also to discover your videos, maybe even if they're not searching for them. If they're searching for things that are relevant to your industry, or looking at other videos that might have similar kind of themes to yours. It's not all about search on YouTube. A lot of it is about being discovered as well. So as I'm sure you'll have seen if you've watched any YouTube, there's videos down the right hand side, there's videos that come up at the end of a video that you're watching that are suggestions from YouTube. And it's kind of as important to try and get your videos to show up in those arenas as it is to allow people to actually find the videos when they're searching for stuff that is going to be in those videos. So and that gets a lot of hits, a lot of views on your videos that you might not have even been expecting or looking for, really. So there's a number of different ways to do this, and the first way is using the metadata on your actual videos, the title, the description, the tags, and so on. So we're going to have a look at that, and there's a way to speed this up rather than doing it from scratch every time you upload a video. So we're starting on this page, which is your creator studio. You can get to it by typing in youtube.com/dashboard, or you can go up to your avatar on the right hand side of the screen here and clicking on Creator Studio. Now that as if you watch the first video, you'll know that sometimes the menus on YouTube aren't consistent. They'll sometimes send you to different places depending on where you're starting from, which can be quite frustrating. But typing in youtube.com/dashboard gets you here. And if yours looks completely different, you may be using the new version of YouTube Studio, which is, you can see up here, there's a link to YouTube Studio Beta. And I'll just show you what that looks like briefly. We're not going to use that, and I'll tell you why. It looks like this. It's quite new. It's been around a couple of months, but they haven't got all of the features that we are going to need in this setup. So if you're using YouTube Studio Beta, if you've kind of moved over to that, if you thought maybe that would be cool and they might have some new features, that's fine. But there's a lot of stuff you can't do. In here it says missing features, and some of these are going to be ones that we're going to want to use. So if this is what you're seeing, then you want to go down here where it says Creator Studio Classic on the left hand side and click on that, and that will take you back. You don't have to give a reason, you can do if you want. That'll take you back to this kind of classic old school YouTube, and until they get really all of the settings that you want to use back, it's not worth moving over to Studio Beta, because well, there's things that you just can't do there at the moment. So here's where we want to start. If we go to well, what you can do is actually type in youtube.com/features, or you can go here to your channel section of the Creator Studio and click on Upload Defaults. And what that does is brings up a set of boxes where you can put in stuff that you're going to want to have on all or most of your videos. This is still editable. So if you do stuff and you decide that it's not relevant for one video, then you can just change it. This is really useful if most of the videos you have on your site, on your channel, are of the same type. If they're mostly video blogs, if they're mostly product videos, if they're mostly customer testimonials, then you're going to pretty much want to put a lot of the same stuff in. If you do a really wide range of different types of videos, then this might not be so useful, but there is a tool I'm going to talk about towards the end of the video that will help you with that. But let's assume that most of the videos that you're doing are about your company and about you know, the people who work there and the products you sell and that kind of thing. So you're gonna have quite a lot of stuff that's similar. So the first thing that you want to do here is put in a thing on the title there that is going to be relevant to your business. Now, obviously, you're not going to want to type title all your videos the same thing. They all need to have unique titles. So this is going to be just something, maybe your business name, or maybe you might call it your business vlog or something like that. But you're going to, for each video, you're going to put in a unique title, and you're going to want to put that first. So this is just something that goes at the end of your title. And if you have it in every title, or in all of the titles where it's relevant, then YouTube is going to see those videos as connected to each other. And that's really important. And there's a few things I'm going to talk about here that will help YouTube to know that, because YouTube likes to keep people on YouTube. They make money by doing that. And you want to encourage that, because YouTube loves channels that help people to stay on YouTube, and you will like people to keep watching your videos. So you want people to watch one of your videos, get to the end, and choose another one. If they haven't clicked a link to go to your website, or chosen your call to action and actually given you a call, the best thing that they can do really at that point is to interact further with your business. The longer that they are spending looking at your videos and listening to you and looking at your products, the better it is for you, and the more likely in the long run that they're going to convert into customers. So the best thing you can do is teach YouTube that all of your videos are connected together. They're all of a type, they're all by you, and they're all the same kind of thing, which tells YouTube that the viewers who enjoyed one video or watched one video all the way to the end maybe are going to want to watch more of your videos, and that way they'll suggest more of your videos to come up when that video finishes. If we have a quick look at our GreenSpark channel here, this is one of my video blogs, and you can see on the right hand side here in suggested videos, there's a lot more of my videos, my video blogs, that people can look at after they've finished watching this particular one. And that's because I've trained YouTube to know that these videos are connected. Some of this happens in the metadata, which we're going through at the moment, and some of it is based on behavior. So the more people who watch one of your videos and then click on another one to watch, that trains YouTube that those videos are connected, and it wants to suggest those videos. And you'll find, if you look in your analytics later, that quite a lot of your views might actually be from the YouTube suggestions rather than people searching for your video. So if we just scroll down, you can see actually there's more down here as well that are my video blogs. And there's a few other videos here, like that one and that one and that one there, that are actually Green Spark videos. They're not my video blogs, but they're from our company. So being able to influence YouTube's algorithm to suggest your videos when people finish watching a video of yours is a really useful thing. And actually, also when you get to the end of a video, this is an end screen, which will come up to in a minute. I've inserted those links in, but YouTube will then suggest at the very end, there we go, other videos that the person might want to watch. And as you can see, several of those are my videos. Now this looks like I actually need to do a little bit of work on my thumbnails to make sure that the title is in shot so that people can see what the videos are about. But you can see that these are, if you imagine you've just watched a video blog and you've thought it was useful and you've got some useful information from it, then you're going to see that actually this person has more video blogs. Those might be useful too. And as you hover over them, you can see the titles there as well. So that's a really good way to get people to come and see more of your videos. Karis asks, if you've already created a title for your video, can you edit this later on? You can edit the title at any point. You can edit titles from your really old videos. You can do it while you're uploading a new video or after the video is uploaded. And actually, it's a good idea to go back to your old videos and have another look at the titles. You want those titles to be really effective, both in terms of telling people what to expect from the video, but also getting people to click. It's like a headline. You don't want to use clickbait. You don't want to make it irrelevant to what's in the video. It has to be something that is going to let people know, because if you tell it something irrelevant, and people used to do this a bit in the early years of YouTube, they used to give clickbait titles. They used to put thumbnails that didn't necessarily actually represent what was in the video. And what happens is people click on that expecting to see something. They don't get what they're looking for and they go away quickly. And what YouTube learns from that is that your videos aren't interesting. They're not delivering on what they promise. So it's important that you make it clear what's in the video. But it is like a headline. So if you can make it interesting, intriguing, something that people are going to want to click on and that actually you can deliver on in the video, that's the kind of best type of title. But getting back to the default uploads, by having a key phrase, whether it's your business title or something like that, at the end of all of your video titles, that starts to train YouTube that those videos are all connected together. And but each time you upload, you are going to want to add something specific to that video. Now, the same is true of the description. You'll want to have ideally a standard format for your descriptions, mostly because it makes it easier. And you definitely need to have something that is specific to each video in there, but you probably also want to have stuff that is just relevant to your company. So if the videos are all about your company, then you can have specific elements that will then be useful to them. So for example, if I just paste in here, we've got, now what I've done here is I've started out with a call to action. That's really important, because what you want to do is let people know how to find you, how to come and do business with you, how to come and come to your website and find out more about you. If you're using YouTube right, then your videos aren't desperately trying to tell people everything about you. What the YouTube videos are for really is to add value, is to give people a bit of information and to encourage people to come and find out more about you, whether that's picking up the phone or coming to your website, whatever way that you want them to do to come and get more information from you. And what you see when you look under a video is just the first couple of lines of this. So you've got a line there that I've put a link on, and then the beginning of the rest of the description. And you have to click, to get the rest of it, you have to click show more. Now, a lot of people aren't going to do that. So the most important bit, which is getting people to come to your video, your website rather, is putting the link here in the first line, really. First line or first two lines, definitely. Now, I've done a generic one here. To find out more about Made Up Business, go to madeupbusiness.com. Ideally, I would put that in the default, absolutely, and that will then automatically come up every time you upload a video. That will be in there, and you don't have to type that out again. You don't have to start again from scratch. Ideally, for each video, If you have a page on your website that is specific to stuff that's in that video, that's much better. If you can do deep linking into specific products or specific services that you have, that's really useful to include in there. And it will get people going directly to that page rather than just going to the main front page of your website and then kind of hoping. Caroline asks, would you recommend putting a transcript of the video in the description? It can be useful, yes. You do have for the description, you have 5,000 characters that you can use. It partly depends on how keyword rich that transcript is. If it's going to be containing a lot of the words that you're hoping people will search for and find this video for, then yeah, absolutely, there's no harm in putting a transcript. I put it at the end so that it's in there for search. But really it's not what people tend to go to the description for. There's other places to use the transcript that we are going to talk about. But yes, you can add it to the end of your description. And the only potential issue with that is if it's really long, then what you can be doing is actually diluting the strength of the keywords. So if you have a keyword rich description in your description box for that video that is specific about what you're talking about, then you've got, obviously with any kind of SEO, if you've got kind of 3 versions of your keyword or keyword phrase within a few paragraphs, that's good, so long as it's in kind of natural language and it doesn't look like it's been written to game the search engine, because Google and YouTube are pretty good at spotting that kind of thing. If you then have a really long transcription of your video transcript, and it has 2,000 words or something, and you don't use the keyword phrase that much, that's going to dilute the strength of your keywords in search. So it's going to make Google think actually that this video isn't necessarily so much about that you're talking about, because I mean, sometimes you're going to be talking about other things, maybe aside from just the product or service that you're trying to push with that video. So just think about that when you're looking at whether to put a transcript in. So after the initial line here, the call to action and the website, and the most important thing here is every link that you put in your YouTube description box, whether you're putting it in your upload defaults or when you upload a video itself, is to make sure that you include http://. If you don't do that, it isn't a link, and then people will just need to type in your web address, and people aren't going to do that. I've seen big companies make this mistake. Nike ran a promotion a few years ago, and they were trying to get people to go to a charity and bid for these new shoes that they'd made, and it was going to benefit Michael J. Fox's Parkinson's charity. And they had the website in the first line of the description saying go here and bid, and they didn't make it a link. And I guarantee they missed out on people bidding, because it's a weird thing, but people just can't be bothered to make that extra little bit of effort of cutting and pasting the address or typing the address into the search bar. So make it easy for people. If you want people to come to your website, make it easy, and put that HTTP link in, and it will turn it into a link when it uploads. So underneath the call to action, I've left a little space, because every time I upload a video, I'm going to put a specific description about that video in. But underneath that, I've got a generic paragraph about the business. Now, this is going to go on every video, and it's always relevant because all of these videos are coming from this business. And then underneath that, we've got some social links, some ways to contact you. And again, with the HTTP, those are going to be links, and it gives people a way to just connect to your business. So again, having this section, which is always the same in all your descriptions, is another way of training YouTube that all of these videos are going to be connected to each other. And you're going to get more suggestions, more things at the end of the video, and more things on the right-hand sidebar to send people to your videos. The final piece of metadata that you can add in as an upload default is tags. Now, I'm going to add some here that are just generic ones about the business, about the company that I've made up, and these are it used to be the case that you wanted to have your most important keywords first. YouTube doesn't care about that anymore. So long as they're in there, it's fine. So it's perfectly okay to have 7 or 8 keywords or keyword phrases in this tag box, which will then appear on every single video. And for every single video that you upload, you are going to want to put specific tags that are about that video and the subject of that video. But these are tags that are about your company, about your industry. They're going to get people generally to come to you if they're searching for people in your sphere, basically. And those need to be a mixture, ideally, of generic keywords. Just kind of, if you work, for example, in photography, then put photography. But they also should contain some kind of long tail keyword phrases, the things that maybe don't get searched as often, but you're going to show up for the search because not as many people are putting them in there. So if you can make sure that you have that kind of mixture, that's going to be good. But remember that you are going to need to add tags for each specific video. Now, the other things in here aren't as important. Once you've got that metadata in there, that's really the key thing. Other aspects that you might want to set as defaults are, you might want to choose what level of privacy you want on your videos. Some people like to start every video as unlisted, and then that means they don't actually put it out there until they've made sure that they've done all of the things you need to do to optimize your video. That can be a way to do it, but there are issues with that we're going to come to in a minute. I just tend to stick everything as public because it doesn't actually have to go out there until you're ready, and there's ways that you can control that. The category, again, this probably is going to be something that is relevant to all your videos. Not necessarily, but if you, for example, do tips for your industry, if you work in, say, the mortgage area, and you want to give people tips on how to reduce the size of their mortgage, or how to overpay, or things like that, then if those are the kinds of videos you do, you might want to put it in how to and style, or you might want to put it in if you are talking, for example, about a specific kind of area of your business or your industry, which is science-based. You've got science and technology here. There's various different options. One thing there isn't is business. So if you are if you're a business to business, for example, in your industry, then there isn't a kind of a bespoke category that is going to always be relevant to you. And so that means sometimes maybe you don't choose a category. I sometimes choose people and blogs if it's just going to be for vlogging, but that's not ideal. I think YouTube could do a bit better with their categories. They could have some more specific things in there that would help people in business, because they do a lot for people. They know that people are using YouTube for business, and I think they could come up with a more generic or a lot more specific categories. The other thing you might want to do is set your default language. I'm going to set mine to English United Kingdom because that's the language that all of my videos are uploaded in, and it saves me a step later on when I want to do transcriptions and things like that. Everything else I'm pretty much going to leave the same. The other thing that I'm going to mention here is this allow comments. Now, some people think that if you are worried that people might say negative things on your YouTube videos, you might get trolls, then what you want to do is just not have any comments on your videos. But I don't personally think that's a great idea, and you don't have to open yourself up to abuse or negative comments by allowing people to say things on your videos. And YouTube is, as well as being a repository for videos, it is a social network. It is a place for people to come and engage with your company, check out what you have to say, and be able to say stuff back to you. And so if you are stopping people from leaving comments, it kind of makes them question what you have to hide, maybe, or why you're not prepared to let people talk about your stuff. But you don't have to just allow all comments by default. What you can do is you can have all except potentially inappropriate comments. So that lets YouTube decide if you have if there are rude words or things like that YouTube identifies with its algorithm that you might not want to have, which that's not a bad idea depending on your audience. But also you can just have approved. So what that means is you allow comments, but before they actually get published on your video, it will send you an email. And if you've got your notifications set up on Google Plus correctly, which is linked to your YouTube channel, as we discussed last time, then you will get an email every time you get a comment. And what this does is it doesn't publish those comments to your channel until you've approved it. So if someone is being a troll and saying mean things about you that are just completely unfounded, and it's not something that you feel you need to address, then you can just not have the comment published on your channel. What I would advise is if someone's saying something justified about your business, if it's negative even, that's not necessarily a terrible thing to have on your channel if you can then respond, because you can actually do great customer service right there in the YouTube comments section. If someone has said something where, you know, they ordered your product and they didn't get it, or they got it and it was damaged, or something like that, you can respond directly to them and say, really sorry to hear this. This isn't how we like to do business. Please get in touch with me on this email and I will get this sorted out for you, something like that. And that not only helps that person, but it shows other people that you're prepared to respond when you don't do something right. So use the comments, use the engagement that YouTube gives you, because some people will do that. If they have something to say, they won't necessarily call you up. They'll go and find a YouTube link for you and just basically tell the world that they're not happy. So try and make them happy, and that'll be good for you. So I'm going to save that, because you have to remember to save, otherwise all of that work was for nothing. And we're going to upload a video. So I'll go up here where this little kind of camera with a plus sign is, and hit upload video. And this will hopefully show you that all of that stuff is populated into those fields. Now, last time we talked about public, unlisted and private videos. There's another one down here which is scheduled, and this is if you want to have a regular upload schedule. If you say, for example, have a video blog that you want to put out every Friday morning at 10 o'clock, that's good, because YouTube and Google like regular uploads. They like frequency and consistency. So that's a really good thing to do. And if you record those video blogs in one go, you don't necessarily always want to remember that you have to upload it at 10 o'clock on a Friday. You might just want to upload them, but schedule them to go live at that point on that day. And that's a really useful tool. One quirky thing about this is that if in those upload defaults you chose anything other than public, then this scheduled option doesn't appear. I don't know why. I don't know if it's something that YouTube have intended to do, or if it's a mistake and they haven't fixed it yet. But if you choose in your upload defaults unlisted or private, then the only options you have when you're uploading a new video are public, unlisted or private. I don't know what's going on there. So keep your upload default to public, and that gives you the option to schedule videos if you need to. So I'm just going to drag a video onto there and upload it. Oh, let's have a look. Okay. So if you didn't put a title into your upload defaults, then what you get up here is what you've called the video file. Now I've called this video file, I've called this video how to add captions to your YouTube video, I think. So that would have shown up, but because I included this made up business vlog in there, because I know I'm going to want to have that at the end of every video, that's what it's decided to put into the title box here. So you might choose to not put a default title in and just let YouTube call each of your videos by the name that you call that video file. And that can be a useful thing. You can choose when you're exporting your video to just name it what you want it to end up being called on YouTube. So that's up to you. I'm going to add in here how to caption videos on YouTube. People like how-to videos on YouTube. So if that is the kind of video you're making, if you're giving people tips or advice, then calling it how to do something is really useful. You will definitely get more searches. People specifically go to YouTube to find out how to do stuff. And so that will get you some search traffic. And something like this, how to caption videos on YouTube, I could have called it how to add captions, how to add subtitles to videos on YouTube, how to add subtitles to your YouTube videos, things like that. There's a keyword tool that I'll talk about later on, which might give you some insight onto which of those would actually be the best thing that people are searching for. But giving it a title that is descriptive, that might get people to click and also might get people to find it in search, is really useful. Janine says, so if I have 10 videos to upload, would it be better to schedule one a week, say? It absolutely would, yes. Unless they are time specific and kind of, about recent news in your industry or something like that, in which case you'll probably going to get them out as soon as you can, because then it's relevant. If they are just evergreen content, it's really good to schedule them once a week, to have that regular upload schedule, because then you have YouTube knowing that people might come back to your site each time that you upload a new video, because they're going to know when it's happening, and YouTube will increase your search engine ranking for all those videos and for your channel as a whole if it sees that you're doing consistent regular uploads. So you can see that it's also populated here, the description box with our description and the tags here. I'm going to add a short descriptive paragraph about this specific video, because as I said, you really want to make sure that is what you don't want is for all of your videos to have exactly the same description. So if you make that video upload paragraph and then everything is just the same on all your videos, there's no reason for YouTube to assume there's anything different in your videos. So you want to make sure that you put something specific about that video. If you have a specific page on your site which is about what you're talking about, then change your link, change the call to action to make sure that it's about that, but make sure you definitely have a call to action. Now I've just inserted this paragraph here. It's ideally, it's keyword rich, it's things that people are going to search for, but it also tells people what to expect from that specific video and why they want to watch it. I'm also going to add some tags. Now, as you can see, although I separated my keyword phrases by commas, it has turned them into kind of these specific links here. I'm going to add a few more that are specific about this video, which I have here somewhere. Here we go. So again, I just pasted in a few that were separated by commas, and it's immediately turned them into links. If I add another one and hit a comma, it makes it a keyword. You have about 500 characters for the tags box. Again, there's a danger in diluting your main keywords. So if you have something that you really think is something people are going to be searching for, this one, for example, I've got transcribing your YouTube video, YouTube captions, how to add YouTube subtitles. If I think one of those is going to be something which people are specifically going to be searching for, I don't want to put 100 different tags in here. I want to keep it relevant to the exact content that's in this video. So, and if in your default upload, you have put tags in that actually aren't relevant to this video, because this video is a bit different to the stuff you normally do, then you can also change those. You can delete them. I can take that one out, for example. There we go. And that just makes it, again, it slightly changes them. The tags that are constant among lots of your videos, again, train YouTube to know that those videos are connected, but making them specific makes it also really useful for people searching. So we're still on here on the page where you've uploaded the video. There are other settings that you can do in another section, but one more thing you can do here is choose your thumbnail. Now you can see here, this is not a very nice thumbnail of me. I look a bit weird. YouTube gives you 3 options. It usually chooses one from somewhere around the middle of your video, somewhere around the first quarter, and somewhere around the last quarter. I don't think any of these videos are particularly good. Certainly they're not going to make me click. Now the thumbnail is just as important to get people to actually click on your video as the title is. Again, if we go back to this page here, you can see these are the thumbnails of other videos that we've made, the video blogs. You can see if you hover over it, it does do a quick animated GIF, but you can see the titles on the sides of the videos, and that shows people what that video is about without them even having to look at the title over on the right here. This person here, who has titled their video, "Do I have to look into camera when I speak?" all that's on their thumbnail is them looking at camera. So if I was just scanning the images and looking down the line, I don't know what that video is about. I don't really care. So I'm not necessarily going to click on it. People will look at the pictures before they look at the titles. And if you think about it, if you still go to bookshops, or rather than just looking at stuff on Amazon, you read the titles, you look at the titles of books, but you look at the book covers as well. And in fact, if you are on Kindle, then on the Amazon store, you pay attention to what the titles of what the covers of the books look like. If you look at movie posters, the decision you make whether that movie is going to be right for you is based on the imagery on that poster as much as it is on the title of the film. And it's, you know, they say don't judge a book by its cover, but we absolutely do. And you judge videos by their thumbnails. So what you want to do is create a thumbnail that is going to be engaging and informative and get people to click. Faces are better. You'll see most of the thumbnails that people have specifically chosen have people in them. Unless you are doing a video about a specific product. If it's one of your products, then you might want to show that product. Say people do, for example, unboxing videos for iPhones and things like that, and they'll want to show the iPhone front and center on the video, because the person who's looking for that kind of video doesn't necessarily care about who is presenting it. They just want to see the product. So because none of these thumbnails are particularly nice, and they're not informative, and they're not particularly I don't want to say clickbaity, but they don't necessarily encourage people to click on them. What you can do is upload a custom thumbnail, and how much you customize your thumbnail is up to how much time and effort you want to put in, really. So for example, here I have grabbed a still from the video, and that's better than any of the other thumbnails that YouTube offered me. I look kind of normal in it. It's a low bar, but what you might want to do, for example, our logo in the corner here is not particularly big. Remember that these thumbnails are going to be seen probably about that big, depending on the size of your screen. So you want to make sure that people know what you're talking about, what the video is about, and who you are. Thumbnails are a really good opportunity for branding. Again, if you look at our channel here, you can tell immediately that all of these video blogs are from the same person, from the same company, about largely the same topic. So if you found it useful, you're going to want to watch more. So it's a great opportunity for increasing your branding and making sure that people recognize who the videos are coming from and what they're going to be about, and that people are going to keep watching if they like that stuff. So you might want to just increase the size of the logo, for example, and that will tell people there, even in their small format, that that's coming from that company. And if you have that logo on all of your videos, then although they may not know what that video is about, they know what they're getting, they know what kind of content you're going to give them. But I don't think that's enough personally. For me, I like to put some text on there. I am a little bit over too far to this side. I want to put some text here, and I'm going to kind of get in the way of the text. So I'm just going to move myself over a bit and make sure that I've got some space, some white space, basically, for adding some text. Now, if I add a bold, easy to read and engaging title on top of the video, that's my style of thumbnail that I usually use on the channel, and people recognize that, and they can see immediately what they're going to get out of clicking on that video. Some people go a little bit further. You might remove yourself from the background, for example, and I kind of superimpose myself on a YouTube screen there. I personally think that's a little bit busy, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to that one because it's nice and bright and colourful. It's our brand colours, and it fits in with how we generally thumbnail our videos, so people know what they're going to get. And that consistency is kind of, I'm not sure it's as important as being eye-catching, but it's very important. If you want people to keep watching your videos and keep going from one to the other, then making sure that they're in a consistent style. It doesn't always have to be the same color, doesn't necessarily have to be the same kind of font in your videos, but making sure that there's something visually that connects those videos, that makes people know what they're going to get from clicking on the thumbnail is important. But you also want to try and make sure that you're attracting new viewers at the same time, people who haven't necessarily seen your other videos. So having that little bit of text on there, that little reason for new people to click on it, is also really important. So I'm going to upload a custom thumbnail, and literally it's very, very easy. You just click on the custom thumbnail button, and it will, if the Mac works, open up a dialog box for me to choose a file. There we go. Okay, so there we go, one I prepared earlier, and that will take just a few seconds to upload, and that is then chosen as the image for that video. You can still change it after that. In fact, you can change all of these things and at any point, but when that gets uploaded to the my video feed, as I've got my Twitter channel connected to my YouTube channel, that will send that out on Twitter, and it will show that thumbnail. That thumbnail will propagate through anywhere you share that video. So if you embed it on your website, it'll have the thumbnail. If you put it on your Twitter, on your Facebook, whatever, the thumbnail will be what people see before they click on the video. Now, before we do other stuff, which is the interactivity on the video, which is end screens and cards, if I click publish now, that will send the link to my Twitter followers. It will send any of my subscribers who have kind of opted in to have a notification that I've uploaded a new video. That will go out to those people then and say, look, there's a new video to come and watch. And so people might, if I have a number of followers, number of subscribers, come in and start watching the video. At the moment, the video isn't quite finished because I want to add some stuff. I want to add an end screen. I want to add some interactive cards to it. So what I'm actually going to do here, although I set the privacy to public by default, I'm going to change it to unlisted. And you see what that's done is it has changed this to done up there instead of publish. So when I click done on that, that has not gone out everywhere. That has not gone public. Anyone who has the link to this video, it is now up on YouTube, and anyone who has this link here would be able to see that video. But it's not been sent out by Twitter. It's not gone to my subscribers. It's not searchable yet. So that's an alternative to setting everything to be unlisted before you actually start uploading things. And so what I want to do, you can go to return to editing here, but that just brings back the same things that I've been doing. And there's other stuff I want to do that isn't in this setting. It's not even in the advanced settings. So unfortunately, there isn't a quick link directly to take you to what's called the info and settings screen. So there's two ways you can do it. You can either click on the video link here, and because you're logged into your own channel, it will take you to the video page, but it'll have an edit this video button underneath the video. Or you can go to your Creator Studio and choose here. It should show up in your videos on your dashboard, or in your video manager. If you go to your video manager it'll be here, and then you can click edit. You can also click on this twisty button here if you want to change something specific, but generally if you just click edit, it takes you to your info and settings screen, which has much more that you can actually do. Majid has asked a quick question regarding hookup to Twitter. If you add a video to a playlist, it adds a message as a tweet, i.e. this video has been added to a playlist. Is it possible to tell YouTube not to upload this on Twitter? It is. I think I covered that in the first video, but when you go to the page on YouTube where you connect your Twitter account, it gives you an option of what things you want to tweet about. You can tweet, for example, every time you upload a video, every time you add a video to a playlist, and every time you like a video. And those are completely different things that you might want to tell people about, or you might not want to. I have one channel, for example, where I have it only set to tweet when I like a video, because one thing I do with that Twitter account is kind of curate other people's interesting videos, and sometimes my own, about making videos and about using YouTube and things like that. So if I see a video that I think is really useful, I like it, and that sends a link to my Twitter to say Jim has liked this video. So with other channels, like with the Green Spark channel, for example, we have it set up to send a tweet when we upload a video. If you have it set up so that it sends a tweet when you add it to a playlist, that can get kind of annoying if you also have it set up to upload, because if you're automating your playlists, if you're setting up your playlist properly, sometimes that's just going to send two tweets straight away, one after the other, because it will say Jim uploaded a video and Jim added a video to a playlist, and it's the same video. So I tend to turn that one off. But yeah, it is absolutely possible to tell YouTube not to do that, and it's in the screen where you connect your YouTube channel to your Twitter. That's it in the first webinar, how to do that. Also, if you just search on our Green Spark YouTube channel, or search on YouTube saying how to connect Twitter to YouTube and Green Spark, and it'll come up. So we're in this screen, the info and settings screen, and the things that I want to add here are end screen and annotations and cards, and also we're going to do subtitles as well, because that's quite quick and really useful. You can do all of the stuff I just did here. So all of the title, the tags, and the descriptions are also editable here. So you can come straight here and do everything. But if you're doing a slightly more simple videos and the title, description, and tags are all the things you want to edit, then you might as well just do it when you upload the video, while it's uploading. And you can see that it's got the custom thumbnail there as well. If that wasn't there, it would have a little button saying custom thumbnail. So we're going to go to end screens first, and an end screen is the last 20 seconds of your video can have elements that you choose to suggest videos to other people. So if you remember when we looked at this screen, these are YouTube's own suggestions. They are based on YouTube's algorithm. Some of them are mine, some of them are other people's, some of them might be our competitors. So ideally, if you use the last 20 seconds of your video or thereabouts to suggest some other things that your viewers might like that are your stuff, then before they get to that point where YouTube suggests them some videos, you might have already got them to watch something else of yours. That's always good. So it's up to 20 seconds. It's more than 5 seconds. So you can't do it for less than 5. You can't do it for more than 20. And the way that you suggest things to people is you basically have to choose where you want them to start. So I'm still talking here, but what I've done in this video is I've inserted a screen at the end, which is kind of designed for people to have some space for suggestions. And that goes on. I'm doing a little bit of talking there, but basically this is the end of the video. I've finished the content, and this is just to get people to see more of our stuff and interact more with our brand. So you put the playhead down here where you want to start, where you want to add a new element, and there's a few elements that you can add. The main ones that I would say are the top two: video or playlist and subscribe. I think it's always worth putting a subscribe link, because that just is at least possible going to get people to subscribe to your videos and end up watching more of your videos and have a link to your company that they keep coming back when you put new videos up. That comes out as this circle, which is your avatar, basically. You can't change the size of it, but you can change the position where it appears on the screen. I'm going to put it up there. And when someone hovers over that, it expands into a box where they can subscribe to your channel. So I'm going to put it there. There's a kind of safe zone up here and down there where you can't put the links kind of at the edge of your video. When annotations were a thing a few years ago, you were able to do that, but with the end screens you can't do that. You have to stick to this area. So the other thing I'm going to add is a couple of videos, and when you choose a video to promote, it gives you a few options. You can choose a specific video. So if your video, for example, I did a series of 3 videos about interviewing people on camera. So on the first one, I might want to tell it that there's another video in this series. So if I go to choose a video, then I can tell YouTube to put that up at the end of my video to say, you know, more tips to interview people on camera. You can tell it just to show your most recent upload. So if you are regularly uploading, then obviously if you're not updating your old end screens on your old videos, then they're still going to be linking to other of your old videos, and you might want to try and encourage people to watch your most recent content. So if you click on most recent, then even no matter how old your video is, every time you upload a new video, that's the one that's getting kind of promoted by all your old videos. Another one that's really good is best for viewer, and this lets YouTube choose. It'll always choose a video from your channel, so it won't choose your competitors' videos, but it is linked to what other things that viewer has watched. So if they've watched several of your videos and the videos they've watched of yours are all of kind of similar theme, then it might suggest the next in that series or another one in there, and it probably won't suggest things that person's already seen. If you're choosing a video for them, if you're choosing your most recent upload, that might have already been watched, so that's kind of a missed opportunity in a way. So I'm gonna choose best for viewer on there, and put that over here. I'm also going to add another video, and this time I'm going to choose one. You can have up to 4 elements on your end screen. So you can have 3 videos and a subscribe, or 4 videos or whatever. I'm going to choose one this time, and this shows you how that works. You can do a playlist. We haven't got any playlists on our channel yet. We're going to do that in a minute. Or you can choose a specific video, and I'm going to choose ones that are perhaps relevant to this video, more video blogs. So I'll choose that one and hit create element, and that comes up. I'm going to move that down here so that it looks nicer. Okay, so I've got these all coming on at the same time. You can have them arriving differently. That's the subscribe one, so I'll move that over here a little bit, move that so that it's coming up at the same time as that. And then if I preview this, you can see what happens at the end of this video. We make one of these videos every Wednesday, so if you'd like to make sure you don't miss out, hit that subscribe button up there. In the meantime, there's a couple of other videos over here for you to look at, and if you'd like to find out anything more about it. So you can see that at the end of the video, after all my content's done, I'm still on screen saying, hey, look, here's some more information for you, here's some more useful things that you might want to look at. And people will click on these videos. They might click to subscribe. That's what happens when you hover over that. And it gives people an opportunity to watch more of your stuff before YouTube suggests anything to them. Of the other elements, I'm just going to save that and let's go off preview. Of the other elements you can add, the channel one, if you have multiple channels, you could promote another of your channels on the end screen. Most people don't tend to do that. The most common used ones are the videos and the subscription boxes. The link is something which you can't get unless you have, I think it's 1,000 subscribers, I think it is, and something like 4,000 hours of your videos have been watched in the last year. So basically that's for kind of really heavy uploaders, people with a lot of subscribers and followers. And unfortunately, they've taken away the opportunity to link directly to your website from YouTube. There are other ways to do it, like in the description box, but not with the links on the videos. So the end screen happens obviously at the end of the video. You can, apart from setting each one up bespoke to each video, if you have, when you make your videos, this kind of last 15 seconds, last 20 seconds of blank screen or screen real estate for putting those links on, then that's really useful. And you might do that on a consistent basis. You might give yourself a template, and you can import that layout and import those videos from other ones of your videos. So for example, I've got on there, I've got a perhaps slightly different configuration. This will replace the current end screen with the selected one. So yeah, I've just got a slightly different configuration on there of where I have the subscription box and which videos I choose. Now that will import from another video that you have an end screen on, all of those settings. So if you've chosen the best for viewer and the most recent upload or something like that, that'll import that. And it means that you can be consistent with how your end screens present themselves. You can also, if you don't necessarily want to have it always the same, but you want to have things that people like the look of, YouTube have come up with a number of different templates. So you can choose one of those which YouTube have kind of configured to look aesthetically pleasing, I guess. And you know, from depending on how many videos you want, whether you want a subscription link or something like that. I think it's worth basically building your own, choosing where you want to put things, and then you can import it from one video to another as you go. Now the end screen happens at the end of the video, but there's also an opportunity to get people to be interactive during a video, and that's using these cards. I'm going to save that before I go. So a few years ago, in fact, until I think 2 or 3 years ago, annotations were a thing on YouTube, and at any point basically in a video you could have a thing popping up and saying, why not go to this website or look at this video or something like that. Annotations only ever worked on desktop. They couldn't ever really get them to work on mobile because the systems that mobile and desktops used for showing videos were different. So YouTube introduced cards, which worked on mobile devices, and then they decided actually cards are better, we're going to get rid of annotations altogether. And so these are the things that you can now do within your video, and you can have up to 5 cards per video, but for most videos you don't want 5 because that's going to get in the way, it's going to annoy people. But they are quite, whereas people used to get a bit annoyed about annotations and they used to pop up and people would choose to keep annotations turned off on all their videos, so people missed out on the opportunity to link stuff. Cards are pretty unobtrusive. They don't really get in the way. What you'll see actually is, if I just go to the beginning of this, there we go. You can see up here, there is a little circle with an eye in it up here. And while the video plays, if I don't have my mouse over the video, I'm just going to mute that. No, I'm not. Okay, there we go. If I don't have my mouse over the video, there isn't an eye in a circle up there. But if I mouse over, then that eye appears. And if I click on it, then it opens up a card. Now, that is true. And anytime you put a card on a video, that is something that people can do. They can click on that card at any time. But you can also set it to actually prompt them to click on it at a specific time in your video. So if, for example, at 10 seconds, I mentioned a particular thing about, I don't know, saying when you're talking on camera, then I can add a card at that point to promote a video that's specifically about that. And these are the various different things you can do with cards. If I choose here how to stop saying then I will just edit that, because you can actually customize what happens with that video. So there's a couple of bits of information here. The custom message and teaser text. Teaser text is what shows when the eye pops up. You'll see this in a sec. I'll show you. But this is your kind of clickbait bit. This is what you want to make people intrigued. You want to get them to click on it. So I'm going to say stop saying Here's how. And the custom message is just a kind of headline over that appears underneath the thumbnail and over the title of the video on the card. So it's a call to action, really. Watch this now. 4 tips, for example. And if I save that, then at that point in the video, at 10 seconds, when we play that through, there we go. That's what pops up in the corner of the screen. And it's about that size no matter how big this the video is. So it looks quite big compared to the video because the video is quite small at the moment. But there you go. That's what comes up. And if you click on that, then the card encouraging you to watch that video pops in from the side. If people don't click on the eye, this doesn't show up. So it isn't distracting or annoying. That only happens if people have been intrigued enough by the pop-up text to look at it. And you see this says watch this now for tips. That's the little bit of the other custom message that we put in there that's call to action. You don't have to put that in. If you didn't, it would just have the thumbnail and the title of the video. You can also add other elements to videos. You can promote playlists. That's really useful. And you can promote a channel. Like I said, if you've got another channel, you can put a promote in there. Again, you can't use links unless you have a lot of subscribers and views. You can do a poll, which is when they first came out, it was quite an interesting thing that people tried, and they said they got a lot of interactivity from it, but I really don't see people using it that much. Maybe it's because not enough people know it's there. But if you are making a video where you want some interaction, you want to find out what people think about something, then you can ask a question here and put a couple of choices, and it will pop up as a multiple choice question. It'll ask the question on the eye here, and then if people think, oh, I know what I think about that, I have strong feelings about it. If you're making videos, for example, about Brexit, and the question is, do you think we should leave Europe without a deal? People might click on that and say yes or no, or any other options you might put there. And it's a good way to get feedback. It's a good way to get people interacting with your video. Like I say, I don't see people doing it very much. So it's something perhaps to experiment with. If it doesn't work for you, if you don't get interactivity with it, then obviously it's not worth your time. But if you do get some people interacting, the more people engage with your videos, the more people engage with your brand, the more likely they are to convert into customers in the long run. So we're going to move on now to captions. And this is something which is really important for a number of reasons. Captions on YouTube aren't just for the hard of hearing. In fact, 80% of times that they're used is not because people are deaf or hard of hearing. It's because they are, for example, viewing in a loud environment, in a like an open plan office, for example, where they maybe aren't allowed to have the sound on. They are using captions perhaps because English is not their first language, and it helps them to follow along with some text as well as hearing someone talking. Basically, it's very much not just for people who can't hear. But the main reason, apart from all the benefits you get of making it accessible to all those people, is that Google can't spider a video. They don't know. Google doesn't know what the content of a video is. So if someone's searching for your stuff on Google, Google is relying on your metadata mostly, as well as the behavior of when people search for particular things if they choose your video. So by giving it a transcript, you're saying all of the words that are in that video. You're putting them all out there, like we talked about earlier on when we were talking about adding that transcript to your description box. Like I said, that can be a useful thing. It's really useful here because it offers both the opportunity for people to have captions on when they're watching the video, but it also gives Google the opportunity to spider all of that text in your video and send people directly to this video if they're searching for that kind of stuff. Now, YouTube does do this automatically, and it has got a lot better in recent years, but it's not great. And because they know they're not great, it doesn't put as much trust in its own captions as it does in manual captions that you've added. So if you add captions to your video, then it will give those search results greater authority than it gives its own automatic ones. It will try. I'm just going to unmute that and see what the automatic ones are.
Adding captions to your YouTube video is easy to do and comes with a whole host of benefits. If you'd like to find out more, stick around.
So that's actually done a really, really good job. Possibly because I enunciate so well when I speak, so it's understood everything I've said there. But if you want, it will still not give that. First of all, it doesn't do punctuation, doesn't do capital letters, commas, full stops, anything like that. It might break the captions in weird places, and it doesn't give it as much authority as it does manual captions that you've added yourself. So, but the great thing is it makes it very easy to add your own captions to videos. And how you do that is add new subtitles or CC here, and then click on what language you're adding captions in. If you are fluent in multiple languages, if you have customers in multiple languages, you can get your captions translated, or you can translate them yourselves, and you can actually have captions in more than one language. So people who don't speak English can watch your videos if you have, for example, lots of customers in Brazil or something like that. Katie Gardner asks, are these settings editable for videos which have already been published? Absolutely. Every single thing in this you can change long after it's been published and is up. And again, it's worth going back and refreshing and looking at your old videos and seeing if there's anything that you can do to make it more searchable, more discoverable, add custom thumbnails and so on. You just need to go into your video manager, which is here in your Creator Studio, and you can edit any video that you've got on your site. So the best way, in my opinion, to add captions to your video is to hit transcribe and auto sync here. What this does is let you type what is said in your video, and the clever thing it does is it actually pauses. If you tick this box, it pauses the video while you're typing. So I will just play the very beginning of the video.
Adding captions to your YouTube video.
So I'm typing, and while I'm trying to talk as well, and it has paused the video, and then when I stop, it starts again. So that actually makes it really, really easy, because you can just listen to a few seconds, you can type what's being said, and the video will automatically pause, and you can listen to the next bit, and then you can type that. And that means that you can actually transcribe your whole video in really very little more than it takes to listen to it in the first place. So I'm just going to quickly paste in a few of the subtitles for this specific video so that we can see what happens when you hit sync. Because, as I said, although it did actually a really good job on this video, YouTube isn't great at recognizing what is said in a video. It's pretty good. Like I said, it's got a lot better. But what it's really good at is matching up what it can hear to what you tell it you've said. So I'm going to hit set timings down here. And if I transcribe the whole video, then I've put punctuation in, I've put breaks in to in the ends of sentences, the ends of paragraphs and whatever, and it will have all of that stuff. So it takes a couple of minutes, maybe, depending on the length of the video, to do this, but it will match up exactly where the words that you've typed in are said in the video. So let's just refresh that and see if it's done it. There we go. So you can see now it has added specific timings to those bits that I've said, and you can, there you go, it's got that bit that I've said with punctuation, with capital letters and so on, and you can edit these if you need to. Mostly you shouldn't need to that much. There's something that it likes to do with my videos where when the music sting comes in, it keeps the caption on screen because I haven't said anything new yet. So what I like to do is bring the end of that subtitle in just before the music comes in. So it comes off screen. There you go. So, because that's weird, I think, to have the caption on screen while the music's playing and while the opening screen is coming up. And then it starts again, and I'm going to move that to just before I start speaking. So there we go. And YouTube does a great job of figuring out exactly where those captions should go. Sometimes it will give you a little a break, an orphan, which is weird. I think this is because I actually didn't tell it all of the words in this. I was just doing it for demonstration purposes. So that's quite unusual that would happen. But generally speaking, it works really well to add captions. And another thing that you can do with this, once you've saved your changes and saved this as a caption file, if you are then going to upload your videos to Facebook, for example, and if you are putting your videos on Facebook, it is better. You will get more engagement through Facebook. It will be seen by more people if you upload it natively to Facebook, that your video file, instead of just telling it that there's a video on YouTube. You can do that. That's great. It's much better than nothing. But if you upload them natively, then you're going to get more engagement. A lot of people scroll through Facebook without sound on. So your video will start auto-playing. They won't hear what you're saying. But what you can do with this, because YouTube creates a subtitle file in this format with the timings and everything, and you can download that. So you can download, I would recommend downloading the SRT file, and I'm just going to open that somewhere, and I'm going to open it with it's editable in pretty much all kind of Notepad text editing files. I think it probably opens up in Word as well, but it's better in programs that don't have as much kind of formatting capability. So I've opened it up in a text edit document here, and that's what it looks like. So it creates this file that would be really hard for you to do yourself, but YouTube just does it automatically, and you can upload that directly to Facebook when you're uploading a video to Facebook, and it will then put those captions on top of your Facebook video. So that's a really useful extra thing that you get from doing captions on YouTube. Okay, so we're moving on now to playlists. We're getting there. This is a longer video than the first one because there's a lot more to get into. But and thank you very much, all of you who are sticking with me. If you do need to go somewhere, I know we've been going for a little while. This replay will be available after. I will send you the link to this replay and the first video. But thanks for sticking with me. We're going to add a playlist now, and this is I don't know how I deleted that playlist. Okay, so that's interesting. So again, we're going to go to the Creator Studio, and in your video manager, if you choose playlists instead of videos, then it will give you an opportunity to add a new playlist. Playlists are fantastic because they keep people watching YouTube, which means that YouTube likes you. They encourage people to watch your channel because your channel is keeping people on YouTube. But more importantly, it keeps people watching your videos on YouTube. And again, the more people are watching your stuff, the more people are interacting with your brand, the more likely they are to end up picking up the phone and talking to you. So the other thing is, it provides a really clear piece of information to YouTube that those videos in that playlist are all connected. They're all the same style, theme, piece of information. So again, it's going to suggest those videos a lot more. And it encourages the kind of behavior that tells YouTube that as well, because when people finish watching one of your videos and click on another one, then YouTube knows those two videos are relevant to each other. And that's going to happen a lot more if they're in a playlist. So playlist is pretty easy to do. You just go to your video manager and hit on playlist, and you can create a new playlist straight away. Give it a title. Playlist titles show up when you are linking them in interactive cards or on end screens. Again, the title is kind of as important, perhaps. Well, probably no less important than the video titles, because it's more about description. They do show up in search results, but mostly people find videos in search results. So if you're giving it a title, obviously you already have one called this, which I thought I'd deleted. So I don't know what it's going to try and do there. There we go. It's given me a new one. So when you hit the edit pencil on this screen, when you create a new playlist, obviously I have no videos in this playlist. I haven't told YouTube what videos I want in there. When you hit the edit button, it allows you to add videos. So I'm going to add the few videos that I have uploaded to this channel that are my video blogs. You can use playlists to show anyone's videos. It doesn't have to be yours. So you can search YouTube. If I just wanted to make a playlist of YouTube tips and I searched how to YouTube, I could add any of these videos that come up here to a playlist. Why would I want to do that? Well, one thing you can do is add a couple of popular videos to your playlist and add yours in there as well. And that starts to teach YouTube that your video is like those other videos, and it might start to get your video suggested when people watch videos like that. Another thing is if your business has customers who like to make videos of your products, for example, if they do unboxing videos, if they do videos about how great your products are, if you're lucky enough to have those kinds of customers, you can curate those videos. You can have a playlist on your channel that is just your customers saying good things about your videos, that are saying good things about your products, that are videos you haven't even made. You haven't had anything to do with them. You haven't had to pay for them or make them yourselves, but you can still get the benefit of having them on your channel, so that when people come to your channel, they can see other people who have made videos about your products, and that can be a really useful thing. But for the most part, you're going to want to choose your YouTube videos, because that's what you're going to mostly be doing playlists of. So you'll click on each of the ones that are relevant to that playlist, add videos, and it should populate them. There we go. And it automatically gives a thumbnail to the playlist that is the kind of the first video in the playlist. You can't change that thumbnail. That's not something you can do. What you can do is add a description to your playlist. And again, this description is searchable, it's useful, and it should tell people what they're going to get out of watching your playlist, out of maybe staying, keeping on coming back to the playlist and seeing what is going to be useful, what new videos you're uploading, and it might encourage people to subscribe to your channel as well. So we'll just add a quick description to that. There we go. Okay. Again, keyword rich, descriptive, useful, it's all good. The other things you can do with playlists, apart from sharing them directly, and that's a really good thing to do. If I wanted to share this how to add captions on YouTube video, I could go to the video and share it on Twitter or on wherever by email or various social networks, or I could share the playlist that it is in. And if those other videos in the playlist are also relevant, if the people who want to watch this video are probably also going to want to watch the other videos, if I share it with that video, then people will start watching the first one and they'll just keep watching. They'll watch the other ones. So that's a good way to get people to watch more of your videos. You can share it on all these networks. You can also embed the playlist on your website. So if you have a video blog page, for example, you can by all means have all of your videos linked individually, but you can have a playlist that has all of the options available to people so that they can look at all of your videos. Now the playlist settings here, you can actually have an unlisted playlist so that it can't be found in search, and it's only something that you send to people. That's an option. The ordering is useful because you can choose either to set the order how you want it. So you can maybe put together videos that are more specifically themed, like I was saying earlier on about the videos that I have about interviewing people on camera. In a longer playlist of video blogs, I might want to have those 3 videos all together. So I might set the ordering to manual, but you can have it to set so that it's done by date added to the playlist or date published on YouTube. or by the most popular. So you can have the most popular videos at the top of the playlist, so people are more drawn towards those ones and then end up watching some of your perhaps less viewed videos because they've seen the first one, the most popular ones. Last interesting thing about playlist settings is auto add. So you can set a rule here that will automatically add videos to your playlist. If you, for example, are doing video blogs like this one, I can set it so that if I tag it with vlog, any video on my channel, when I upload it, if I add a vlog tag to it, it will automatically get added to this playlist. That means I don't have to come in and change it. I don't have to add it later, move around the order or anything like that. It will just directly be included in the playlist. So finally, when you've done that, when you've created your playlists, you're going to want to make sure that those are available on your channel. So I will, no, that's other channels. I will go to my channel, which is, oh, there we go, my channel over here on the left. And at the moment, what I have here is uploads. So I've got a mixture of videos that I've made for GreenSpark and also videos I've made for clients. And this is just all of the videos I've uploaded. And that's not necessarily what I want to show people straight off when they come to my channel. So if I click on Customize Channel, then it lets me add sections to my channel homepage, and you can specifically set up individual videos. You can do so that you've got more popular videos coming up, but a good way to do it is to have a playlist and like a single playlist as a horizontal row. And I'm going to choose that one that I've just created, video blogs. It gives you a little preview of what that's like. So it shows you the title, the description you added in, and your videos in the order you put them in. And I am going to take away this uploads section. I'm going to delete that. So this is what people will see when they come to my channel. They'll have a suggestion of what to watch next, but the very next thing they'll see is the playlist that I added. And if you have a few different playlists, and ideally every video on your channel should be in at least one playlist. They can be in multiple playlists, so don't be shy about adding them. But if you've got, in my case, for example, I would have video blogs, I would have videos I've made for clients, I would have behind the scenes stuff perhaps of events that we run, that kind of thing. And each one would be a separate playlist that is relevant to the other videos in that list. So if I've done a lot of videos for one client, for example, I might put all those in one playlist and say, if you want to see these, here's the playlist of all of them. And then if you have that on your channel, then people can see that you've got a wide range of different things, and they can see where the stuff that they're interested in is. So just a couple more things, we're nearly done. The thing I want to talk about now is actually a couple of third-party tools that can help you with making your YouTube experience easier and more effective. And there's two tools that I use on a fairly regular basis. One is called vidIQ, which I'm just going to enable and then refresh. There we go. So you can see that it's just added a few things here. It's added some analytics information up here, but the useful stuff that happens is when I go to my Creator Studio, and if I want to edit one of my videos here, there's a few things that have changed. So what I've got here is a character count, for example, on the title, the description and the tags, so you can see how much of my allocation I'm using. That can be useful. It gives you a tool to add emojis to titles, which very much depends on what your audience is like. That might be brilliant, might be completely irrelevant to who your audience is. It gives you a little checklist here. So this video that we've just basically done, it gives me a list here of the various options of things like I don't think this is completely updated yet, but it's given me a score for my SEO for this video. It's doing pretty well, actually, 39.9. It hasn't looked at the keywords yet for this video, so that's something that it will do over time. It'll probably populate that in a bit. One thing I realized that we hadn't done, if you remember when I uploaded this video, I set it to unlisted. I never set it to public, and that's something that you want to do when you actually are ready to publish your video. So we've added the end screen, we've added the cards, we've added the subtitles, we've created a custom thumbnail, we've added the title and description and tags, and this video is ready for prime time. So I'm going to make it public and I'm going to hit publish, and that is now out there in the world. So that's not relevant obviously to the vidIQ thing. So a few other things that are useful with vidIQ and the other tool that I'm going to show you. There's a keyword inspector here, which helps you to choose better tags, better keywords for your videos. Now, this is a free plugin. It's a Chrome plugin, and there is a paid version. So if you want full capability of all your keywords, then you need to pay some. But in the free version, you still get some really useful stuff. So if I search here for YouTube captions, for example, the keyword tool will give me some useful keywords here. It will give me a score on that keyword phrase. So that shows me how many people are actually searching for it on YouTube, not very many, and how many other videos I'm competing with, quite a lot. So that's not a great keyword phrase to use. If I try, if it lets me just add directly those captions to my keywords in a minute as well. So these ones that are here, it offers you other suggestions. Create subtitles for YouTube, closed captioning subtitles, and it will give you a different keyword score, and it's really useful to find out which keyword phrases are going to be useful to you and which aren't. And you can try lots of different ones in here and it will help. So if I just put how to YouTube, for example, because that's kind of what most of my videos are about, and I don't tend to use that as a keyword phrase, but actually what you find is that's being searched a lot. How to YouTube, which is like how to YouTube channel, seems to be one of the top searched phrases in this arena, and it's very very popular. There's lots of searches, and it's actually not that competitive. So it's not ideal, it's not in the green, but it's not right up high. So that's probably a good keyword for me to use. And you can do that with various of your potential keywords, the things you think people might be finding your videos for, things they might be searching for. You can have a go at putting them in here. You can check out some related keywords and see if you can find ones that are going to be more searched and less competitive. Other things that it does is it gives you tag templates. So if you have various different types of videos, if for example you make vlog videos but also product videos, and you want to have different tags for those, then you can I can put all the tags in here for a vlog video, and I can save it as a template. And those are from another client, and I can insert the tags. I don't want to delete that. I can insert tags from another video that I've saved as a template into this video here, and that will give that gives me the opportunity to have a totally different kind of video, because the upload defaults on YouTube, you can only have one set of defaults. It doesn't work with multiple types. So if you have more than one type of video, you're always uploading the same descriptions and tags and titles. With tag templates, it lets you do that slightly differently. It also gives you card templates. So if you had a card on one of your videos that you want to, for example, this one here, we created this card, I can save that as a template. It'll title it with the name of the video, and then on another video I can go there, and if I want the same card to show up, I can just load a new template through vidIQ. And another thing it does is, if I just go to YouTube's homepage and click on any video, let's look at one about Fortnite, because that's popular. vidIQ also gives you information about that video. So if you're looking at a video, actually let's look at how to YouTube type video. So a popular one, how to start and grow your YouTube channel from zero, 7 tips. It's a popular video. It's got 400,000 views. What I can see about this video with this vidIQ panel on the right hand side here, I can see how engaged people are with it and how many views per hour it's getting. That's not particularly useful to me. But down here at the bottom, what I can see is their keywords that they're using on this video. Now, this is something that you used to be able to see in YouTube. You used to be able to see people's keywords, but you can't do it anymore. But with tools like vidIQ, you can still see it. And these numbers are for me, for if I was searching, because as you probably know, Google and YouTube's algorithm is specific to individuals, so it'll show me different things than it shows you. But for me, if I typed in these search phrases, that is the number in the list that it would come up. So this video would come up, if I typed in how to grow a YouTube channel from zero, it would come up as number 1 in the search. So I can see what they're doing. You definitely don't want to steal people's tags. There is an option here to copy these tags to the clipboard. Don't do that, because you don't want to have identical tags to another video. It dilutes it for everyone. It's not good. But you can copy some of the tags. You can look at what they're doing and get some ideas for tags for your own videos from that, and that can actually be really useful. If you're looking at videos, you can see what kinds of descriptions they have, you can see what kinds of titles they have, and with this kind of tool you can see the tags they have on their channel and the tags they have on their specific videos, and some of those might be things that people are searching for that you can make videos about, and they might be things that you want to include in tags on your own channel or on your own videos. Please don't just copy all of the tags from one video and put it in your video, because it probably isn't relevant to your video, and it's just not good good practice to do that. So that's vidIQ. There's another tool. I'm going to turn off vidIQ and turn on TubeBuddy. This again is another free Chrome extension, and I'm just going to refresh that. And TubeBuddy is quite similar to vidIQ, and it really comes down to personal preference, which you prefer. This again does the same thing. It has all information about this video. This is not my video. This is the 400,000 views one, and it gives you analytics about it. It shows you what their tags are. You can click to show the search rankings. Again, this is what TubeBuddy reckons how it would come up if I typed these into my channel, into my YouTube search box. When you are doing your own thing, if I get back to my Creator Studio, TubeBuddy does a lot of the same kinds of things that vidIQ does, but it does also some things differently. It does have the tag tools, so it suggests tags that you might want to try adding. It has ways to copy tags from one video to another, and it has it actually inserts the search rankings of your own keywords into your tag box, so you can see where those keywords would rank. So you can see if you're using useful ranking keywords. Again, this is where it would rank for you. So it also has a best practices section here. Most of the information in there you need to upgrade to get, but it does as you have things that need improving. If this video, for example, didn't have a custom thumbnail and didn't have tags, it would say doesn't have a custom thumbnail. So it will have some information to show you how to improve some of the stuff that you're doing. But one of the other useful things that it does is if I go to my video manager, I go to another video, I'm hoping it will kick in. Yeah, here we go. On the right hand side here, this is called a quick navigation bar, and this is specific to TubeBuddy, and it's really useful if you're going through and changing things on lots of your videos. So If, for example, someone was asking, I think it was Katie, can you edit these videos when they've already been published? If you're going back through your old videos and updating the titles, adding some tags, adding descriptions or whatever, changing custom thumbnails, to keep going back from this screen to your video manager and choosing another video and coming back here and doing it all again can be kind of annoying, especially if you want to add cards to all your videos. You have to come back into this screen and then click on cards, or you then click on subtitles or whatever. What this does is lets you click directly on another video in your video manager. So like the next one, for example, is right there, and it opens it up in that screen. So if you want to add cards to all your videos, you can go through one after the other and do it without having to keep going back out to your video manager and coming back in. It's a real time saver. Again, with the rest of it, it does pretty much all of the same things that that vidIQ does. It does a template for cards so that you can save a template on one video where you've added a card and add it to another one. YouTube does that natively with endscreens, so it doesn't need to do that in endscreens. So although it can, it has this section set this video as an endscreen template, but because you can import endscreens directly from other videos on your YouTube channel, it doesn't really need to do that. So last thing we're going to talk about. By the way, I will send links to both vidIQ and TubeBuddy so that you can see how to get them. Again, they're both free, but they both have premium elements to them that make them more useful. So, but I'll include the links to the free Chrome extensions, and they really can speed up your editing of videos if you're going back through your old content and refreshing it, which is a great idea. So last thing I want to talk about, and I'm just going to turn TubeBuddy off so that you don't get a kind of skewed view of what we're doing, is I'm actually going to, because we're talking about analytics, which is the last thing, and this is a made up channel that I've just uploaded a few kind of snippets of videos onto. I'm going to go actually to our main Green Spark channel so that we can have a look at some real analytics. If it opens. Yeah, okay, there we go. So going into your analytics here in the Creator Studio, down here in analytics, this will show you all of the views, the watch time, the number of comments you get, the shares, the people who've put your videos in playlists, subscribers, and so on for all of your videos for a specific time period. Just so we can get some proper information, I'm going to set this to this year so that we can see kind of more information, more useful information. As you can see, there's a spike there in both watch time and average view duration. I guess I uploaded a popular longer video that day. So you can see here the top 10 videos on the channel during that time period. So a lot of these are the video blogs that we've been looking at. The top one had nearly 1,000 minutes viewed, about 600 views this year. What's the difference between public, private, and unlisted videos? We've got the previous webinar there. In terms of watch time, that's very popular because it was like an hour-long video. So, but less views, obviously. But so we can look at some of these and see what we can learn from them. And what I would encourage you to do is look around your analytics. If you have videos already on your channel and you don't know who's looking at them, when they're popular, which bits of them are popular, where your traffic is coming from, have a look around your analytics, because it is a goldmine of information. We're just going to look at a couple of quick things before we finish. So if we click into what's the difference between public, private, and unlisted videos, we can see here the number of views it's had. That's kind of reasonably consistent, goes up and down per day. It's had kind of 12 likes total, no dislikes. One person took away a like down here somewhere. It's encouraged 6 people to subscribe to our channel, so that's good. But the main interesting thing for me here is where that traffic is coming from. Now, people are watching this video. 95% of them are watching it on the YouTube watch page. 4.6% of them are watching it in on an embedded external website. That's almost certainly our We Are Green Spark website, because we put these video blogs out and we embed them in our blog. So only 5% of them have found it on our website. 95% of them have found it on YouTube. And where those views are coming from, we can look here and see that 37% of them are people searching. So this is a video which people have found through actually looking for the most part, what is the difference between a public video and an unlisted video, because it's something that a lot of people don't understand. So 37% of people have found it through that method. There's a weird thing here called external, which we'll look at in a moment, and 25% have found it through suggested videos. So for a quarter of those 620 views have, in fact, this is based on watch time, so a quarter of that 933 minutes of watch time is from people who have finished watching another video and YouTube has suggested this video to them as something they might also find interesting, and they've clicked on it. So as I said, it's not all about search. It's not all about keywords and thinking what people are necessarily going to be actually looking for, but that is a big part of it, at least for this video. Now you can actually drill down as well. If I click on this traffic sources section, it opens it up and shows me a little bit more. So like I said, 37% by watch time have found it in the search. And if you click into that YouTube search thing, it also actually tells you what keywords people are searching for. So the difference between unlisted and private YouTube videos, YouTube unlisted versus private, YouTube private versus unlisted, and so on. This can be really, really useful, not only for thinking up new tags that you might want to put in your videos. You might want to change the tags on this video to get more people who are searching for this kind of thing to find this video. But it can also be useful for thinking up new video ideas. For example, there's a few people down here who found this video when they were looking for, can I share unlisted YouTube video? And I think there's someone else down a little bit further down, unlisted video share. So that's something that people want to know. I did mention it in this video, which is why it's come up, and people possibly found that because it's in the transcription that I did. But I could make a video that talks specifically about whether you can share private and unlisted videos on YouTube. And some of the people who are searching for that would then find that video and find it interesting and find it useful, see me as an expert in my field, come to me when they have YouTube issues that they need solved. And that's what this is all about. So you can also see when people searched for it on these things, how much of the video on average did they watch? And sometimes if it's a low figure, like we've got a 58% there, so they watched just over half the video, public versus unlisted versus private YouTube. That sounds really relevant, actually, so I don't know why they didn't watch very much of it. There's only a few of them, so it's a small sample size. But some of them you can see are more than 100%, and that's because they watched it more than once. So those people found it particularly interesting or useful, or went back to it to figure out exactly what they needed to know. So that's really interesting information to me, and I can use that to inform my video strategy going forward. I also am interested in seeing what the external search, what videos have come from what YouTube calls external. So this is where people have found this video. And what I find actually is the vast majority of that is Google search. So Google is separate to YouTube, although they own YouTube. So this is people who have searched not in YouTube, but on Google for things like the difference between unlisted and private videos. And Google has sent them to my video on YouTube. So I'm getting people who aren't even on YouTube to come and look at this video. People are also looking at through other search engines like DuckDuckGo, Ecosia, Safari. Actually, Safari is not a search engine anyway. And things like, well, We Are Green Spark. So that's people who have come from our channel, from our website rather, to YouTube to look at the video. And people on Facebook, for example, as well. So this is how people are finding the video, and it's useful information for me to know where people are coming from and how people are finding them. You can see also that beyond the suggested videos, which again 25%, is the browse features. Less people here, but still useful to know where people are finding it. So browsing is just people who perhaps are subscribed to our channel, who have been looking around on YouTube and have kind of stumbled across it. Notifications, that's where we've sent out, or YouTube has automatically sent out a notification to a subscriber saying GreenSpark has got a new video out and people have clicked on it. End screens, we can see that people have clicked on the video in the end screens of other videos, and things like that. So that's useful information for knowing where people are coming from and possibly changing your strategy going forward. Now, I just want to quickly look at another video in our top 10, which is, let's find it, how to connect your Twitter account. So that's kind of the second top vlog video. And what we see here is only 5% of people have watched this on the YouTube watch page. 95% have watched it embedded in an external website. And if I click on that and click on embedded in external websites, that is GreenSpark. So 95% of all of the people who've seen this video have seen it on our blog, not on YouTube. So if we go back into the traffic sources, we can see it's 100% external, basically. And so people aren't using YouTube search for this video, at least. I think it's something some people want to know about, how to connect your Twitter account to YouTube and why you should. But nobody, literally nobody in this year who has seen this video has seen it because they searched for something similar to that. So maybe that is an indication that I haven't optimized the metadata on this video sufficiently, or maybe it's an indication that no one is searching for this. And that's something that I can find out through the tools like vidIQ. I can look and see, does anyone care about how to connect their Twitter account to their YouTube account? And should I change the metadata on my video to reflect what people are actually searching for? The last, very, very last thing I want to show you actually is a thing called audience retention graphs. And that's also in your analytics. And I'm going to look at it for this video, for the Twitter video. For the people who have watched it, you can see, I'm just going to pause that. You can see in real time how many people are still watching the video. And this is absolute audience retention. What you see is in the first few seconds of the video, you go from obviously 100% of people who click on the video, it goes down within 5 seconds to only 64% of people still watching. I'm not sure what more I could do in the first few seconds to get people to keep watching. And to be honest, no, neither does anyone else, because that is absolutely standard on YouTube. If you're losing, you lose a large number of the people who click on your video in the first few seconds, because people just click around like crazy on YouTube. They're very fickle. But what I have actually is, after that point, people are sticking around because they are finding the content useful. And if you look at relative audience retention, which compares this video to other videos on similar topics of similar length, actually the retention that I'm getting is above average to very high, right up until this point here. And what you can do, then it goes down to average. It's still average all the way along to here. And what you can do is click on any part of this graph, and it takes you to that moment in the video, and it shows you what's happening in that moment. So this is, the content's finished, I'm wrapping up. And that's why I'm suddenly losing pretty much all of my audience. If I go back to the absolute audience retention graph, at that point, it's gone from, there's 47% have stuck around pretty much right to the end of the content. And then as soon as I start saying, that's it, thanks very much, see you next time, everyone obviously, understandably, stops watching. Now that means that I'm not getting very many people to my call to action at the end of the video. I'm getting maybe 25% of the people who were watching at the beginning still watching by the time I'm saying download our ebook and look at our other videos. That really makes it important to have cards in the video. It shows you the importance of keeping people. It's a good reason to put a card towards the end of the video, before you finish your content, before you start wrapping up. It's a good reason to have people given an opportunity then to go and look at more of your videos, because 75% of the people who started watching this video by this point have clicked away into something else. Realistically, of the people who were watching for most of the content, it was in the region of kind of 75%, 65% were watching for most of it. So about a third of those are still sticking around for the CTA, and 2/3 of them have gone off to see another video. So keep that in mind. And if you find that you're doing an intro which lasts maybe 10 seconds to your videos, and by the time that intro finishes, your videos tend to be around the kind of 40% mark, maybe shorten your intro, maybe change what you're doing, maybe add a teaser at the beginning to say, this is what I'm going to tell you about this video. And these audience retention graphs are really useful for showing you if people are liking what you're doing, and if they are finding the content useful. If it goes up really high, some of these places where it doesn't make a lot of sense, when here, for example, I've got 57% of the people watching, and then later on I've got 64, 75, 78% here. The reason for that is because sometimes people are going back and watching other bits again because it was useful to them. They've kind of decided they want to skip perhaps some bits of the video and move ahead. If you have a big dip somewhere, maybe people are finding that bit boring and they want to skip to the good stuff. So pay attention to these audience retention graphs. They can really give you some good advice on whether you're doing it right, whether people are sticking around to find out your call to action, whether you need to have your call to action happening earlier on in the video and kind of give people a reason to stick around for the end, or how you can actually change the content that you're putting out there. Use the search terms and the tools to make sure that your metadata is completely brilliant and makes people want to click on your videos and makes them findable and discoverable in YouTube. And as I said, I am going to put all of this information into a kind of ebook form along with the information that we had from the first video, and you'll all get a copy of that, and along with the links to TubeBuddy and vidIQ and all the advice I can give you, basically links to the first webinar and to the replay of this webinar, so that you can go back and find all of this information, because I've been talking for nearly 2 hours. I've given you a lot of stuff to talk about and think about. If you do all this stuff, your YouTube channels will be significantly better, and people will be finding your videos in places that you didn't even know they were looking for them. So thank you very much for those of you who've stuck around all of this time. I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions at all about using YouTube, I'm on jim@wearegreenspark.com, and I'm very happy to answer any questions that you have and give you any help that you need with using YouTube and getting the most out of YouTube. And if you need someone to optimize your videos, to optimize your channel, or to do anything, we can help you with that, or we can just offer advice if that's what you need. So by all means, get in touch. Thanks again so much for sticking around and listening to me and attending in person. And I hopefully will speak to you at some point soon. Thanks very much.